As you can see on the right-hand chart, the share of corporate income that's gone to the average American workers dropped from about 85% to 56.5% in the past 30 or 40 years. And it's pretty much the prime reason today for the most talked about topic. It's so popular it could be an entrant on Dancing with the Stars, and that's income inequality. Now, just one example. In 1965, the ratio of CEO pay to the average American worker was a multiple of 20. Today, it's 300. So here's the question that you and I have to ask each other. Are we really 15 times better than the very same people who would have sat in these very same seats 50 years ago? Are we 15 times better, or is the income sharing out of whack? Now, the problem with income inequality is that history shows us it's really not a good thing. There's a direct correlation between income inequality and a host of social ills. And you can see it in this next chart. Here's 20 of our peer countries: Denmark, Austria, New Zealand, Japan. It's a very good mix. The horizontal axis along the right is income inequality. The more to the right you go, the more income inequality. The vertical axis is a host of social ills, from infant mortality, life expectancy, incarceration, trust among your fellow citizens, literacy, math proficiency, obesity, teenage pregnancy. The higher up you go, the more social ills you have. And as you can see from that chart, the good old USA, yes, we're number one again, number one in income inequality, number one in the host of social ills. And one thing Americans want is they want transparency. They want to know which companies are pursuing just behavior because they think it's very important for them in their decisions. Now, in this next slide, you'll see what Americans thought was the most important things that constitute justness. Not surprisingly, the first two things centered around, first and foremost, employee pay. Am I getting a fair wage? Am I getting a living wage? And the second one was around how companies treat people. Do you treat them with respect? Do you acknowledge their basic human rights and dignity? It's pretty basic stuff, really. So in 2016, we'll poll again. We'll confirm, or if they've changed, we'll change what the American public thinks. We'll sample those changes. And then we'll take the next step is over the course of the summer, we're going to take those preferences and those beliefs, and we're going to score America's top 1,000 companies from number 1 to number 1,000 along the lines of what Americans think constitutes justness. We'll establish a Just 100, which will be the top 100 companies that are pursuing the most just behavior. And then we'll break those 1,000 companies into sectors and industry, and we'll establish the Just 1, or the number 1 in each particular index. And then we'll let those companies use our yet-to-be unveiled but super cool trademark of the Just 100 or Just 1, and hopefully they'll put them on their products.